Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. For the second time ever, we have a threesome on the show.
Yes! Ow! I think we need to be jealous of the first one.
I know. I'm kind of jealous.
I mean, I'm never the second. I'm always the first.
Well, I need you guys to pause everything and actually go into the show notes and listen to the episode of yours truly on the Keeping It Casual podcast, which we recorded, what was that now, 3 weeks ago, maybe?
More.
February-ish.
Has the threesome been that long? Seems like it was yesterday.
We couldn't wait.
Because we're so good.
If you guys want to hear some juicy insight to some of my college, we'll call them college mishaps, college experiences, and just pretty much everything relationship, lifestyle, and sex. That's what the Keeping It Casual podcast is.
Yeah.
Such a trendy show, but you guys have been doing it for a long time, and
Since 2018.
Summer of 2018. So
We
2.5
didn't.
years.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Love you.
you guys were ahead of the curve too when it came to like sex relationship podcasts.
We didn't start off that way. We started off like kind of, okay, how the podcast kind of began is I would go into her studio and I would tell her my hoe stories because I was dating at the time.
We'd have lunch.
Yeah,
have our salads.
We'd have salads and we would talk sexy sex. And then she was doing a podcast and I was doing another podcast, which both of them have segments now on our podcast. Sharing Secrets was hers and mine was Why Did I Date Him? And then we just kind of combined it all into one because I went on hers as the online dating expert. And then we realized we had good symmetry.
oh,
Some chemistry.
Can you come with me? Because all the other guests I've tried to like make this happen with is like, it just does, it's very hard, as you understand, to get guests and to get them to commit and come in. And, I was like, I need somebody on the weekly that I can just sit down and talk shit with.
Yeah, and then
So-
the person I was doing Why Did I Date Him with, it was just so hard for us to like sync everything up. And
The magic just came together.
just came together. And so that was 2018. And we didn't start as sex dating and relationships though. We were just like, let's turn on the microphone and talk about bangs and
about everything.
and everything. Because like one of our first episodes, we talked about these girls who were trying to make out with us at a concert.
That was fun.
Sounds like Vegas.
Yeah, it was totally hot.
Yeah, they were such babes.
Yeah.
But
And
we were both like, ugh, why are these hot girls trying to make out with us?
And then you go back and listen, and I was like at the bar, and I'm like, "Hey, you want this drink?" I'm like buying her drinks, and we listen back. We're like, "Oh my god, we were totally hitting on them." And then we're like, "Oh my god, why is she trying to kiss me?"
So it began more as like kind of like a journal or like an adventure dialogue.
Yeah, and then kind of our fan base kind of pulled us into sex dating and relationships because they would send us like
Emails.
and they'd be like, "Hey, how do I get my guy to da-da-da-da-da-da?" And we'd be like, "Do we have opinions on this? I guess we do."
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been serving opinions on sex and relationships, and I'm MJ, so I'm the married one. I have the kids. I have the long-term relationship. So the sex is up and down and all around, and the craziness. So I can relate to people on that level.
And I'm Bree. I'm the dating one, but the first year of our podcast was my relationship too.
yeah.
You get it from the first time I go and see my ex-boyfriend perform to being completely brokenhearted to the spiral after the broken heart to the rebound to the know. So you get all this everything that I'm going through, and it's like it's so strange because when it first started. I don't know, probably this time last year, I couldn't listen to the first year of our podcast.
Why, it's too cringe because it brings back bad memories.
Brings back too many memories. And now, like, I listen back and I'm like, you know what? I respect my process I went through.
Yeah, that's so true. So you listen to stuff and you're like, oh God, I'm not ready to listen to that yet. We have an episode where
Episode 69? I'm not ready for that one yet. We were so drunk.
Sounds scandalous.
it was going to be 69, so that was in the works for a long time. We're like, it's the all sex episode. We had a porn star like lined up to be on. She flaked on us.
Last
she said she was
second.
She said she was on her way. So we're like, shot, and then She said she's still on her way.
She got preoccupied.
Yeah, I guess with a big dick in her mouth or something. Bitch. Anyways, but by the time we got the message, like, I'm not coming.
She never messaged us she's not coming.
I think we just kind of got the message.
She's still on her way right now.
We were drunk, and then we were like, let's pop on IG Live on a Friday at 5 at 1 o'clock and do a sex Q&A, and we did, and it was like
that was the day before our second live show too.
God. So, we've learned drinking and podcasting sometimes is fun, but sometimes it can get carried away.
Really bad. I've listened to some shows where it's just incoherent. I'm like, why did you add this? Should have just ended the show as soon as possible.
Yeah, we've learned a lot of lessons along the way.
Is your fan base still as interactive as it was in those beginning days?
Yes, actually, I think more now so since quarantine.
Yeah,
people have been telling us like, "Thank you for keeping on."
Some horny motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Well, in quarantine, a lot of people were messaging us like, "Why aren't my partner and I having sex? All we're doing is sitting next to each other."
I know.
That was a lot of like people were messaging us like, "I'm in the house with somebody and we're not touching each other and we're not, there's no intimacy and it's just day-to-day routine. Like I'm wearing my sweatpants and a greasy top knot and it's just how do I make myself feel desired? How do I make my partner desire me?" And sometimes, like, my opinion is it's okay to put on a little makeup and take a shower.
Yeah. We had some really great episodes that were spiraled out of that, like bring that libido back, like girls just like, I just don't feel sexy anymore. It's little things I can do, or like finding out your sexual sex personality
type. That was a good one that we did last year because a lot of people were like, people don't know what their sex personality type is.
Right?
Yeah.
Not until you gave me that quiz.
We got to give you another quiz.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't know what my sex personality type was when that happened. There was like 11 different ones, and we researched it, but we didn't read too much into it because we wanted naturally to find out what our sex personality types were as we recorded the episode. And I knew spot on. As soon as she said like certain things, I was like, that's me, that's you. And we knew each other that well that I was like, you're the... what was yours? Hold on. The one that pleases both parties.
The switch?
No. That's we all know you're the switch.
I can't remember. It was I should know, but I'm just like totally having a brain space right now.
And I was the romantic.
Yeah.
Because sex is more to me than just sex. It's all about touch and intimacy, and it's just it's a true connection for me. Yeah. Even if it's a one night stand that I can peace out after the connection, it's still like it's still like a big connection for me. So
if you're going home with like a one night stand, you still want some romanticism to that experience?
Yeah, but I can't.
Don't just throw me up against the wall.
Well, that's romantic.
Or do, but say something sexy.
Yeah. Or do, but say something sexy. Yeah, that's a little bit more my speed. It's
like say something bossy. So I can be like, you shut up.
I mean, I'm single right now, but recently I ran into an old flame, and the last time we saw each other before this time did not end very well. We kind of like got into an argument with each other about nonsense, which shouldn't have even happened because I was in a relationship and he was being a hoe. So we got into this big fight. And I was like, fuck him, I'm never talking to him again. And then we run in and we're being all like flirty and whatever with each other. And then he, threw me up against the bookshelf and we made out. So yes, that doesn't all have to be like flower petals, but there has to be some sort of passion there,
I can see that. Do you find it hard to break away from like the sex person as being like the sex podcast? Like does it prevent you from going out and doing anything else or trying to show like a different side of your personality?
Yes, I do, because as I'm dating, one of the hardest things I have is like, how do I separate? I don't want people to just know the sexual part of my life, so I don't talk to people about the podcast much. If I'm dating them.
They just go and listen, and now they know everything.
They're like, oh, she a freak.
She's gonna talk about me.
Yeah, exactly. Like that one guy who was like, you're gonna talk about our sex life, and I'm like, no, because I had an entire relationship where I said not one thing about our sex life.
No, and that was cool because sometimes they you want to put everything out there. Like I'm not just gonna share the sweet things about my husband. I share the bullshit fights we have just to kind of relate, but I'm also gonna keep a lot of things private because it's our personal space,
Exactly.
And you have to respect your relationships when you're in a sex relationship, when you share so much. I think some people can put themselves in real vulnerable situations, especially their partner. And then, you're like, I'm not comfortable with this. Like, you're going on there every week telling them all the secrets. I mean, I shared a lot about Chris,
Yeah.
but, we're cool. We have that understanding. So, but, for me, like, just being a mom, like, I love to get on here and talk about sex and drop F-bombs and just get real with it, because it takes me away from that kind of, reminds me that I'm still a sexual person. I'm still like, a powerful woman. And when you just feel like you're a mom in pajamas all day and no respect at all, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, you have to have like an outlet of some sort.
Yes.
I know even younger moms that are same age as me who feel so detached from society just because they're stuck in like that mom life. But you need some sort of outlet, whether it's like a podcast or a hobby, not just being like a trophy wife.
you can lose your mind.
Yeah, I would say it's like some of the times that I'm most present is when I'm with you.
Yes, absolutely. Doing like just sitting down and like having a conversation with somebody uninterrupted. We're not on our phones. I can imagine like you get the same feeling of like
That's why podcasting is so powerful. I try to recommend everybody to have a podcast.
Yes.
It's like today you can't have anybody's undivided attention because they start scrolling through Twitter after like 2 minutes of a conversation.
Exactly. There was an episode we did that really made me realize a boundary that I needed, because we were talking about actually a friend who was just having an issue in her relationship, and I was just like, we talked about it, and then that following Sunday, I was like, I'm sorry to my now ex-boyfriend. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, the way this is going is not working for me. And it was just us having this conversation with each other on our podcast that made me realize that I wasn't happy in my relationship.
well, you start giving advice to somebody and
Yeah.
you're like, I'm kind of going through this. And now I'm realizing, like, you're like, I can't be dishing out advice and not taking my own advice. So I think that's, and as I even edited that, I was like, ooh.
Because you
I'm
edit.
hearing, I edited after you broke up, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I hear exactly what just happened.
You edited, like, I remember texting you the day you edited it. I was like, so I ended things with so-and-so. And then we talked
Yeah,
later,
I
and she
heard
was
that.
like, I heard that in your voice.
Yeah.
Which was actually right before we had our threesome with him, our first one.
Of course.
Yes.
Oh, see,
Oh.
it was just perfect
It
timing.
was perfect timing.
How long was that? Like an hour and 10 minutes of perfection?
Yes.
He was like, next time my place, and it's going to be longer. That was one of our favorite episodes. We just have to thank you for coming on.
Yes.
because
So much fun.
you're one of our very few male guests, and like we got DMs and messages
Yeah.
from dudes and more Twitter followers from dudes. So it's pretty cool. They're like, okay. All right,
I enjoyed it because just from my own self-interest, when I go on shows, everyone always wants to talk about like podcasting and just like kind of my show's like a little bit more inspirational, but it's like no one ever asked me about like my college experience or, the sexual history or relationships. Yeah, that's the fun stuff.
Yeah.
We want the dirty
A lot.
details.
I've noticed a lot, mostly men are kind of afraid to talk about that over the mic. I don't know whether it's like their own history or they have some trauma towards it, but like I'm generally completely open to it.
You were, and it was cool, and it was very refreshing, and it was liberating. And I was like, this is going to really inspire some of our dudes.
Yeah. I think a lot of dudes are afraid to talk about it because they don't want to get caught. No, seriously, like if
Like playing their significant other
or just like
or talking a big game.
one of the most dangerous
Talking big game. is
talking a big
definitely-
game is definitely one. But I would say like even if you're in a situationship where it's like you're not really in a relationship and you're both fucking other people, but you don't want each other to know about the other people that you're fucking. And I hate that. I'm sorry. If we're not exclusive, I'm gonna be honest with you and be like, yeah, I'm going home with this guy tonight. And it's not out of a jealousy thing. It's just like, I need you to know that I'm doing this, whatever. So I think a lot of guys want to hide that aspect. So they don't want a girl coming back and being like, so Carol was when we were dating too.
Yeah, 'cause Vegas is such a sexually driven town.
And it's a
And
small town.
it's extremely small. The strip is run by women, and the situation I always present, it's like, okay, if all the executives left their job on the strip would function perfectly. But if all the women left, nobody would come
Oh, God.
at all. If there were no servers, strippers, like cocktail women, nobody would come spend money.
Yeah.
The strip would be desolate.
Yeah,
true.
this city thrives on women. It's just beauty, it's power, it's powerful men with money, and
Yeah.
it's definitely such a a fun city, and we thought this would, that's why I think what we're doing really thrives really well here. So, and it was probably the only sex and relationship podcast out of Las Vegas. I don't know if there's anything going on
I haven't
now.
heard of any other ones.
No, guys,
Still
we're the only
haven't.
ones. Keeping casual podcast.
First mover.
No, there is one that's trying to come up right now.
We don't even know. So who
We don't
cares?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and there's so many great podcasts I feel that are coming out of Vegas too that people don't realize. Like Kelsey, who you had, a Soberpreneur, yours, our girls who aren't doing it anymore, but It's About Damn Crime. They did a great true crime podcast for years. There's one called On the State of Entertainment where she does Throwback Thursdays and talks about what happened on that day in entertainment.
Yeah, she's really cool.
She's really
actually.
cool.
But very, very unique ones.
Yeah.
Then we were introduced to your podcast, and we were like, "Whoa,
Hello there.
hey."
Yeah. Podcasting just presents so many different opportunities, and some people utilize it differently. Like I had a woman on here. Her name is Lacey Cerrone. She had a podcast in 2014 with her now husband, but they weren't dating at the time. They had like 2 million downloads in a 2-year span.
Wow.
And then they used that platform to start a real estate company. And now they don't do the podcast anymore.
Interesting.
So I see a lot of, I've come across a lot of podcasts where they only last a few years and then somebody got big and then they just went on and did something else. Like it's hard to maintain a podcast now.
It is, and I think it's just we have so much fun doing it. This is our weekly therapy, and when you when you want to talk about things weekly, it can become a grind because you're a content creator. You're building that content weekly, and we committed to weekly podcasts. And you're doing how many?
2, 3.
2 to 3 a week. That's incredible. But I feel like you're the type that's going to be building a platform as well. I
Yeah.
see that already. So we have, we try to use our platform for, I think we like the podcast lane though. We want to take it into more of like getting workshops and retreats and things like that and live shows before the whole pandemic, obviously.
Yeah.
But just kind of gathering groups of like-minded people, inspiring, empowering. That's kind of what we really wanted to do with
definitely.
it.
I'm still looking into, I don't want to do, like, we might do virtual workshops, but really, like, we wanted to do, like, a weekend retreat with
Immersive and stuff.
With all women?
mostly women.
I could do women. We thought of like women and even couples things too.
Yeah. Because I think women tend to open themselves up more when men aren't around. It's something I've noticed in my writing courses too, because I go to all girl writing courses, and our mentor, who's a New York Times bestseller, used to have men in the classes, but she noticed that the women would open up more when the men weren't around. So, but we would like to have male speakers and stuff.
Exactly.
You know.
Like we are. I feel like the second that you left, we're like, oh God, Jake would be great on like a retreat. Like let's bring him in so the ladies can ask him the single lady questions, or even
exactly
the night when they bring the dudes. You know, so we are all for collaborating. We support everybody that's been on our show. We really want to we want everybody to win. We want to just.
Whoop dog want everybody to win.
we just really. We really want to empower people. We're not like, oh, we're doing this and nobody else can do that. Or we're not going to try that because other people are. We're just going to stay true to ourselves and make sure that we're supporting everybody as much as we can as well.
It's true.
We want to give people a voice with our platform too.
Yeah, and now we're moving into this age where internet communities are so powerful, right? Like we've had a smartphone now for about 12 years. So social media has only really been prevalent though for about maybe the last 6 or 7. So now you're seeing like this community build up, and people have the opportunity to go out and use that platform to do something great. That's not just trying to monetize off of your communities.
That's true. That's true.
We're not just trying to sell commercial ads. We're trying to build community.
I know you do have a sex product in the beginning that you advertise though.
We do. Well,
Advertisers are nice though.
yeah.
Like it helps make it worthwhile, and you're not just nickel and diming your customers or your listeners.
And we only take on ad space that we truly believe in. So like our people that you're speaking of, they're women owned and operated. They donate to charities. They are all about sexual health and sexual building. And really it's for women who maybe need to come out of their shell a little bit more sexually.
Whether they're single or in a relationship.
Yeah.
So I feel like that just fits our whole motif, you know? We're on here like, go to Farmers Insurance and fucking get insurance or whatever, like it.
Madison
definitely fits
Reed, get your hair dyed.
Yeah, it fits our whole brand.
Yeah.
But
Why do you think women tend to have a a tougher time coming out of their shell. I also had a woman on here, her name's Candice Morales. She runs like a women entrepreneur directory, and she also only takes on women. She does like coaching as well, and she only takes on women clients because she also spoke to the same message that she finds that it's harder for women to go above and not go above and beyond, but come out of their shell and pursue different endeavors or like kind of be the woman that they've always wanted to be.
That's a good question. I think because for so many years we weren't allowed to, because I mean, when you think about it, women didn't really start to go to the workspace until the 40s when men were off at war and women had to go into the factories. And then that was taken away from them as soon as the war was over. And then they went back to the kitchen. And then the 60s happened where the hippies came in and there was a little, in 60s, early 70s, there was some women liberation. But if you go to the 80s, women kind of became housewives again. And then in the 90s, women really decided we are liberated, we are going to work. And because of the way, financially, the way things worked out is you couldn't have a single parent home anymore. You needed to have, multiple incomes coming in. So I think when you look back on it, we as women haven't had a lot of time as CEOs, as, not even being sexual beings. Like I remember when Sex and the City came out, there was a lot of stuff like that show.
Have you seen it?
Sex in the City?
Yeah.
Sex and the City, yeah.
I think every man should still watch it.
Yeah, but when you think about it, that show was so taboo.
I haven't watched it. I've seen some commercials and some advertisements.
And that show was
It's good for dudes to
20
learn
years
some
old?
stuff.
It's 20?
It can be crass. Dudes can be like, man, fuck these.
Well,
Just
yeah,
have
the
that
same
kind of moment,
manly.
too. Yeah.
and that's the
Everybody
thing.
watching me.
I mean, I remember in the early 2000s when I was like getting out of high school, like the misogyny in my brain was so real because that's what I felt. And it took me like doing some sex work and being like a phone sex operator or whatever to realize like, oh my God, I was a misogynistic asshole. So I think that's why women have been so,
Excuse me.
no, you're fine. I think that's why women undermine themselves so much. And I think that's why they undermine who they are sexually in the bedroom because they don't want to like pull out this like, be like, grab the guy by the throat and, bust out the moves. And then like out of the fear that he'll go to his homeboys and be like, damn, that girl a hoe.
Yeah.
She
tried some weird shit on me.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, right?
Enjoy that in the editing. There you go. Yeah, great. Sorry.
Awa?
Yes, I'm gonna take some.
There ain't no editing in this house.
I know, right?
We're keeping your
guys.
your coronavirus all over the show.
all over the mic, guys.
Well, you did just get back from Florida, so.
I did.
It's a wild town down there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's they're living La Vida Loca down there.
Yeah.
Sure.
What do you think about
I think I grew up working in all male dominated
Yeah.
industries from like
Radio,
working in
especially.
the clubs and the radio was just kind of
Yeah.
super obvious like who you're bowing down to get what you want in there, and even pushing as like I was the lead host on a morning show and trying to work with male co-hosts, it was kind of like, why is this girl so bossy? I was like, well, because I gotta be, like
gotta keep you boys in line?
and it it might give you a little bit of like this girl's a bitch, or I think Nicki Minaj said something and I heard her and I was like, yeah, no fair, because they're not used to seeing, and I had to train them, so it's not used to having a woman in charge, and it was an uncomfortable space to be in, so I didn't like doing that, but. I think, but I've always leaned towards women whenever it comes to, I've taught dance classes and stuff. And I feel like that's something to help them bring them out of their shell. And I just love it. I love seeing a girl who's just kind of shy and unsure of herself, and you just give her a few, just a few tips on how to move, or just different ways to look at herself, and just to watch her come out of her shell is so incredibly, that just fills me up. And I think that's what the show does too.
I love teaching any woman that she is a beautiful sexual goddess, because as women we all are. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, every man has their own type or whatever, but like as women we are beautiful sexual goddesses, and men are terrified of it.
Yeah. But for men, like, how do you feel about, like, do you feel like when you talk to men, like, is there something men are out there lacking? There's probably like,
Yes.
Yeah,
guys are,
for sure.
guys are lacking stuff like this.
Yeah.
This is our platform, but I feel like guys could probably use something where they're like tuning in and like, man, I'm not feeling like I'm pleasing my woman. I'm not feeling, there's probably a lot of guys out there.
Yeah, I mean, there still is like that kind of locker room talk that happens. I don't think you can ever kind of get rid of that, because that's like kind of the bro time, I guess.
But the girls are more sharing insecurities than the guys.
I have noticed a trend though of men becoming more okay with sharing their emotions or some of their experiences with each other. I think it just depends on what the setting is. And
that all goes back to misogyny too, because men are taught they have to be men, and whatever. When it's like, if back in, when I was in high school, if a guy were to come to his guy friend and be like, I don't want to use high school, I'll say my college days, even though I never really had them, but those years, if a guy were to go to his, brother or his frat boy or whatever and be like, man, like, I don't know how to make my girl come. They'd be like, you're gay, huh?
Just make fun of you. Yeah.
That definitely still happens.
But Gen Z,
safe space for guys.
Gen Z came in though, and they were like, gay, straight, who cares?
Yeah.
We're not saying that anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody can be open and honest. I will say that.
Yeah. I think the pendulum has swung a little bit too far though when it comes to like cancel culture. Like it's like, obviously, there's always a correction because it was so masculine dominated for some time. So they were just like, we're just going to blow this wall down and push it the other way. But now it's like, now there's a lot of confusion. It's like, as a man going out, you're like, do I hit on this woman? Like, do I have to say, like, are you okay with me talking to you? Am I okay to have sex? Like, it's because you don't know. You don't know how that woman's going to react or if it's going to be used against you. Like, that's what we talked. That's what we talked about with. On your show, I was like, I don't send nudes to women because I know like it's going to be used against me at some point.
Yes.
You're right.
But we introduced you to side dicks.
So. Yeah. Yes. It's a thing, guys. It's a silhouette side move with just a full, it's hot.
I will say this, as a woman, I do feel very flattered when I'm being hit on by somebody at a bar or whatever. And you can pick up on my cues. I'm pretty sure. I'm very honest. Pretty much in my facial expressions, you can tell I'm not into you. If I'm into you, I'm going to engage in conversation. If I'm not, I'm going to be like, I'll just have a water, please.
I mean, it's always cool for someone just to smile at you and be like, how you doing? And if the girl's feeling you, she's going to let that conversation open up to you. So don't ever be afraid to just be like, sometimes it's a little much if a guy's like, man, you look beautiful today. It's like, oh, I don't know you like that. I mean, okay, thanks.
Oh, I don't know. I would appreciate that.
Yeah. Well,
okay,
maybe being married now.
You're married. See, I'm single. See, I would definitely appreciate that if a guy came up to me.
What's up, girl? You look.
Okay, well, Vegas is opening back up. Probably May 1st. It looks like is going to be like full go. Yeah. It's been a year and a half since we've had like some sort of normalcy.
Yeah.
Maybe people forgot, but let's say we're all at a bar, right? Mm-hmm. And the woman locks eyes with the man. Is the best thing to do to just directly approach the woman? How do you go about that situation?
All right, we're at the bar, lock eyes,
like let's say you're sitting across the bar, smile, or even across the room, like let's say a girl's like with her group, she's turning around, scanning the room. Yeah. You both notice each other and smile. Mm.
Okay.
Is the best way to just approach the group?
Yeah.
There's two ways, though.
There's two ways. You go to the bartender. Can I buy that girl a drink?
Uh-huh.
That's a good move.
That move still works?
Oh, yeah.
Because if she has a drink, she can get a backup. Shot or something. But also, there's also like, some girls are just like, oh, he's cute. Yeah, he's smart. Uh-huh. Oh, he's coming over. It's like, that's kind of easy.
Yeah.
Like maybe just, I got my eye on you, girl. And then maybe you turn around and walk away. And then you got her looking over her shoulder. Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Where did he go? She's not going to get swooped up that fast. You keep your eye on her. But yeah, just kind of play a little smart. Then maybe you creep up. 10 minutes later.
This is because she's a switch.
Yeah, I play that male and female thing. I'm like, well, how would I play this? I was always a little game player.
The mysterious man. Well, Neil Strauss said in his book, like if you ever approach a group of women, the one that you are most attracted to, you should kind of ignore and not talk to first, and talk to all of the other women first.
That's funny. Be like, I hate him right now.
Yeah.
He didn't say hi to me.
But I think if you're vibing somebody, you gotta go make the move. I remember my husband, like he was sitting down at the bar and I was like, this guy is hot. And I was just kind of like eyeballing him and doing shots. And after dancing on the bar, I mean, nobody was hogs and heifers.
You walked up to him, you were like, hey.
I just walked down to him. I was like, hey, what's going on? And he was just like, oh, God, you want to talk to me? He was all acting shy or whatever. But I had to go pick him up. So
that's actually a good question for you on the opposite spectrum. Yes. You lock eyes with a girl and she comes up to you and she's like, hey, I like your shirt.
Yeah, like, how you doing?
How you doing? I like the way those jeans look on you. I don't know. What's Leanne? We need Leanne vibes here.
I think for a man, any sort of signal towards a woman liking you, we're gonna run with it immediately.
All good.
So what you're telling me is I need to be less bitchy at the bar.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I'm just out with my girlfriends.
Oh yeah.
I mean, some of the bitchiness is attractive for sure. Yeah. I think it just depends on how long you extend it for.
Ball busting.
Yeah.
3.
2 years.
A challenge is always nice. Too easy is definitely a turn off. Some guys like that. From what I've noticed working in the clubs, the richer, like wealthier, older men definitely like the easy.
Oh yeah.
But the younger, let's say more fuckboy style kind of guys definitely like the challenge more because it's more of a game.
Yes.
I've realized I'm kind of a fuckboy.
Yeah, I was too.
I've realized this like really recently. I've realized like there's like a fuckboy quiz going around TikTok, and I was like, oh. And I'm like, and I've been saying he's a fuckboy, but we're fuckboying each other.
Oh, yeah. Well, I even told her, I said, well, maybe just not bust his balls so hard. Or maybe let a little wall down. She's like, think we'll see about that.
I was like, we'll see.
So I'm like, wait, well, were you nice?
No, I wasn't.
Not at all.
Apparently, he was telling me he wanted to date again, and I was like, oh my God, the bartender's not letting me get a drink right now.
Yeah, like kind of laying it out. Like, I'm really into, I think I've made around and I'm trying to date again. She's like, good for you. Like, I'm like, whoa.
I do think the game or like the pickup kind of style is going to change since no one's been able to practice their game at a bar over the last year and a half. So all of their go-to moves are broken because everyone's going to react differently now.
Yeah.
I went out this last weekend. I went out 3 different days, St. Patty's Day and the weekend. And just trying to catch up with society. Oh, first I have to say that COVID doesn't exist in downtown. Like
no, it doesn't. I was downtown on St. Patrick's Day.
No one cares. No one cares. Everything was packed. Like no, it doesn't matter at all. But
we can only care so hard for so long.
A lot of the conversations I was having with women that I had just met, it seemed like there was a lot more like deep like meaning behind the conversations. It wasn't just like practical pickup. Like one of my friends was talking about, I made fun of him. He told me he was at one of the bars and he's like, you need to come to this bar. He was sitting with 4 different women and they were talking about like gender theory when I showed up. And I was like, oh, this is how this works now.
It's because we've been trapped inside for so long that all we've had time to do is just like think about shit.
Yeah. Your quality time.
We had the quality time with ourselves where we thought about existing.
Before everyone's love language is like physical touch. Now it's quality time. You get to the bar, you're like, do you want to talk about things? You're like, all right, I guess.
My love language was still physical touch, but long distance relationship.
It changed you to quality time.
Well, both physical touch and quality time. I need it.
Well, once everyone goes back, I have to say the peak horniness is definitely at an all-time high. So do you think it'll be easier to pick up people at the bar?
Yeah.
Like, do you think like that one night stand is like going to be much easier?
Oh God, that would have been so easy for me on St. Patrick's Day.
I don't know if the sex is going to be easier, but I think the conversation and people just being more open and comfortable talking is going to be so much easier.
I think that first time picking up that one night stand, maybe like once you got back in your groove, it's gonna be fine. I think that first time everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, I haven't done this in forever. What do can I even make somebody come still the same way? Like, can I suck a dick that good?
Practice. I know. It takes practice. It does. Because even in relationships, you're like, well, we're just gonna do the same thing. And you're like, no, now we have to be intentional about new things. Now we gotta try new shit. Gotta get some new porn going on.
We have to have the intentional intimacy. Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to tell you that Erica Lust, that very tasteful porn we were talking about, they have a whole free month right now. Jump on it. You can get it for about a week left.
Oh God. Yeah. So I mean, I think that first time is going to be really terrifying for a lot of people, myself included.
I've had a bunch of college friends and some of my coworkers hit me up and say that we're going to go to the club every day this year like it's college all over again, which makes me think that everybody's going to do that. So everyone's out there just for war.
The clubs are looking older. People out there in beards.
I swear to God, the clubs are going to be at capacity for a few months.
Probably.
For sure. It's going to be all the locals. It's not even going to be
tourists. It's going to be locals like on Tinder, like, you'll you'll do. All right.
I have a question though. It has been a long time since we've got the club hookup, so you're probably going to be our club hookup.
Yeah. Gladly help.
We're calling Jake to get on the guest list.
I actually,
Well, you're already on it right now.
Yeah, exactly. We're already in, guys.
we're in. I actually, on St. Patrick's Day, I went to Circa. And my friend who was in town, he got us one of those day beds at the outdoor sports.
Stadium swim.
Yeah, stadium swim. So we could watch the Knights game.
Cool.
And I forgot, this is how long it's been since I've like been out. I forgot when you get those, there's like a $400 bar tab you need to pay for too. And so he was like, come hungry and come ready to drink. And I was like, all right, I got this. And then they only serve triples there. And I was like, well, I don't got this.
Oh yeah, I was getting her text.
I was like, the chicken heads are making noise right
Yeah,
now.
then she's like, and I got an Apple Watch, and like, it's
and I'm
so
like,
random.
And I'm like, oh, and by the way, I'm making out with him right now. Bye.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. What the fuck?
You forget, like, we've been starved from Vegas life for so long that Vegas is still Vegas. It's still like the premier place to go to. We're
ridiculous.
so spoiled.
I know. Anywhere else, you're like, what is going on here? Why is the service? The service is terrible. What is he wearing? Like, what's going on?
I can't get a beer at 10 a.m. Why?
Yeah.
What I did notice though going out is everything feels a lot louder to me than it used to. I was like, am I getting old or is it just loud?
It's like we built our whole lives to be able to go out and double fist doubles.
Yes.
Be out till 3 a.m., go hook up with somebody, and then still take an Uber home by 7 a.m.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good old vodka Red Bull to get the party going.
Yeah.
First drink of the night, vodka Red Bull. Did we eat dinner yet? No, we're going now. Vodka Red Bull dinner.
Yeah, because before the Golden Knights game, the DJ was on, and I was like, my friend was talking to me, and I was like, I can't hear a fucking word you're saying to me. I was like, you gotta lean in because Mama's not been out in a long time.
We're like a bunch of house cats.
I am.
That's why everyone has to get back into the groove, so everyone's going to keep going out.
It's true. I got to get my hearing better again.
Are you ready for it? Because I remember you said that you're not too much with the apps. It's just like that human connection and interaction. And like, since those typical places where you meet people, like the bars, people are trying to mac at the gyms, and that's kind of
I've always been a solo person at the gym.
Yeah.
Like when people talk to me, I try to do 5-minute conversations, but like I've never really hit on women at the gym. I've seen so many
Appreciate it.
I've seen so many of
Safe
my
space.
friends tweet about how they hate men hitting on them at the gym. Just like
true.
it doesn't seem like it would ever be.
Well, this is funny because a friend of ours, she was on the podcast. She's like, yeah, I met this guy. She's telling me, I said, where you meet at the gym? I said, he talked to you at the gym? She's like, well, I said, where were you? She goes, I was doing a back bend.
Oh,
She's like, yeah, I was wearing like all white leggings that day and stuff. And she's like, I was in the stretching area and because I'm like, how do you approach you at the gym? Like, that's like usually known. And she's like, well, I was stretching. She goes, I was actually doing a back bend. So full white leggings doing a back bend. He's like, what's up?
what's up with you? Free for lunch?
I felt like you were asking me to come over.
Well, there's definitely quality women at the gym.
Sure.
It's just like most of them are generally closed off because you're trying to be fit so you can go show yourself off. You're in like a vulnerable state.
When I'm at
usually
the
not
gym,
a good idea.
I look like a cherry. Like my skin
So
gets
red.
so red. I'm sweaty. I'm gross. And to some, that might be attractive, I guess. But I'm like, I feel disgusting. Stay away from me.
Yeah. My friend was like, she's like, what are you wearing, girl? She's like in a tube top, like a sports bra and a yoga pants. I'm like, sweatpants, got on my Beastie Boys
Me
shirt.
too. That's how I
She's
go.
like, oh, slut it up a bit, would you? I was like, what's going on? The gym look was not hot.
Yeah, my
The women at the gym that are like all dolled up,
ain't
definitely
me.
judging a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
that ain't me. I'm like, you're lucky
Do
if
you
I put
guys like
eyebrows
that?
on.
Like, I'm talking fake eyelashes, like the works gym face. You're like,
Like influencer gym.
Honestly, seeing them at the gym, I mean, it's definitely something to look at for sure. Like you're definitely garnering attention from the men,
appreciating.
but you can't be mad at the men then for staring at you.
Hey, you're
Yeah.
doing a back bend in white pants. You're going to get, But yeah, I feel like there's a middle ground,
Yeah.
Don't look like I did that one day and don't look like.
Oh, I look like you did that one day every day. I don't go to the gym for anybody but myself and the elliptical machine. I'm
Yeah.
like, what's up?
Yeah, I definitely look homeless most of the time.
Yeah, okay.
Like sweatpants. I do wear the gray sweatpants at the gym though.
All right,
I
so
appreciate it.
here's the question though: since the gym is off limits, since the clubs and the bars, where were the spots to like talk to people? Is it
Coffee
the grocery
shops.
store?
Coffee shop.
Coffee shop.
line.
Have you ever hit on somebody at the coffee shop?
I've never been hit on at the coffee shop. I want to be hit on at the coffee shop. I'm throwing it out into the universe. It's gonna happen.
He's gonna buy your Starbucks. Or
I
something.
feel like coffee shops are like dates. It's like you meet somebody up. You meet somebody there for a date.
I do
Yeah.
the coffee shop date on my lunch hour when I don't know if I like a guy or not.
speed dater over there.
No, but I'm not like
speed date.
if somebody bought my Starbucks, I'd be like, oh, thanks. But I'm talking about like if I'm at like Makers and Finders right here downtown, and a guy
We get a lavender coffee.
where I'm getting
Weird shit like that.
yes, it has to be like a hips. This is in my fantasy. This is how this is working
Coffee
out.
shop fantasy pickup.
My
Okay,
coffee
good.
shop, yeah. So it's a hipster coffee place, and I'm there with Rachel or somebody, and
Me,
you, whatever, whoever, somebody. But Rachel and I meet for coffee a lot. That's why.
whatever. Anyways, you heard that. I'm not her fabulous fantasy.
Well, lavender coffee, got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
married over
If a woman ever orders lavender coffee with you, she's definitely definitely evaluating it.
and then the guy's like, "Hey, ladies, I got this," and he's like, "Hey, can I have your number?" And I'm like, "Yes, let's do this." Okay.
Would you ever judge a man by his coffee choice or his alcohol choice?
If you ordered lavender, maybe.
If he ordered lavender, I might think he liked dude, and that's my own internal misogyny I've got to work on. So
Fuckboy mentality over there.
well, do you
Lavender,
judge a
you
man
wuss.
for the alcohol that he chooses?
no, if he drinks White Claws, probably. That's just because I don't fucks with White Claws.
Wine, cool. Wine, he might be a handful.
No,
Well, what if you're on a date with a man who rolls up with 2 OEs?
I feel like it's a party
I'm
tonight.
like, we're gonna slam these right now.
Are we
Let's see who
playing?
wins.
Are we playing 40 hands right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where's the orange juice? We're making some
quarts.
brass monkeys.
That funky monkey.
2
No,
quarts of OE.
wouldn't judge
Nice.
that.
You wouldn't.
No, I mean, I'd be like, oh, we partying tonight.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I see. But no,
Are we going to the drive-in?
if I was
What's
like,
happening?
I'm gonna drink a vodka tonic, and he was like, you know what, that sounds good. I want one too. I'd be like, respect.
I
Or if
get-
he was like, I want a sex on the beach, you're like,
Me too.
I guarantee you, if a woman came to a date for a man with the OE, the guy would be like, "This is a trashy bitch."
yes, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
see,
You're like,
it's-
he's broke.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
The first question would be like, "What is the relationship with your father?"
I don't think men realize how low the bar is for them.
Oh, I know, right? What if he showed up with some Four Loko? He's like, yo, got these on the black market. We're ready to party.
I would be like, oh, you know my cousin. I'd be like, Joshua sold you that, didn't he? All right, let's go.
I'd be like, let's do it. I haven't seen one of those in a while.
So like, yeah, that's the thing though. I don't think men understand how low the bar is. It's like,
But it's true, the flip-flop with the woman.
it's true. Because like a guy would be like,
Yo.
oh my God, she texted me an hour after our date, where a girl's like, oh my God, he texted me an hour after our date to see if I was home safe. Where a guy's like, oh God, you know?
She's smothering me.
So it's so different. It's 'cause men, let me tell you, the bar is so low. Like if you just put in the minimal amount of effort, panties are coming off.
Is it better to
There's
text a woman
approaching.
right after the date?
If you're, hey, let me know you got home safe.
That's cool.
That's a sexy move. I really appreciate that. That is something that I pretty much demand from a partner is I'm going to text
Even
you.
me.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. I do that for my friends too. Text me and let me know you got home safe, or I'm going to text you and let you, you know.
And I think that's a classy move for a dude when they're all like, shit, am I texting too soon? 'Cause you
Yeah.
guys love to play that text game.
For most guys, they always say text a texter the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's an easy move to just to be like, that's not being pushy, that's being respectful and be like,
Yeah.
text me when you get home. And then she texts you, text her back a thumbs up or whatever. Just,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, leave it on red, whatever. But just that move right there, that's a good one.
And you give her a safe open to be like, I got home safe. I had fun. So that is a G move.
Yes.
Put that one in your sock drawer.
yes,
Wherever you put things
keep it in
like
your
that.
pants or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it's just I'm playing the mental text game right now, where it's like, "Oh, you haven't texted me yet.
I'm not going to text you.
I'm not gonna text you.
I love texting for my single friends. I'm like, what did they say? Okay, say this.
See, for me, when it comes to texting, it's like if you're gonna text me 2 days later and try to resume the conversation the way it was without saying something, then I'm not gonna respond.
Oh, I
but if you
hate that.
respond like hours later, or it's like you stop texting me at 8 and then you text me the next day at some point, like that's chill.
Next
But
day,
Yeah.
but a few days is like,
yeah, I've had
Yeah.
I had a guest who's coming on here later who texted me 2 weeks later
Oh my gosh.
and tried to resume the conversation. Of course, I'm going to say, yeah, like you can still be a guest, but
Can you throw him under the bus on here and be like,
Yeah.
so when it comes to chicks, what's your texting? What's your texting roundtable? How about when it comes to professional relationships?
Yeah.
Some of the keeping it casual girls just wanted to know.
but when it comes to like relationship texting or like you're going after a woman, I think there is like some sort of time decay
I
to
agree.
the text.
I've noticed that in a relationship, I tend to text my partner less because I'm like, well, we'll talk later in person. Where if it's like I'm talking to a dude, I'm like, let's talk back and forth all the time. But right now, I'm trying to really not have that. I really want to be focused and more present with a person, not just being like, oh, okay, I'm happy you're there. Oh, okay, I'm here, you're there.
Yeah, because
Like,
there's
you
no,
know?
yeah, that's like, to me, that's like too territorial.
Yeah.
It's like you're like trying to own the woman. If you're like, text me everywhere you go, like you're her probation officer. It's like, tell me everywhere you're at.
Or if you're subtly like texting what you're doing, like, hey, good morning, I'm going to the gym.
Yeah. And that's kind of what the situation is. Like, hey, I'm going to be here tonight.
It's kind of an open conversation to be like, what are you doing? Where are you going? What's going
Yeah.
on? But it's like,
That sounds like it's like a slippery slope when that
Yeah.
happens.
have intentional conversation on text. I don't
Exactly.
want to just be like, I don't want. I'm like not the person. Like if something was said, it's done. I'm not going to text back. Okay. Like I'm just like, okay, we got this.
Well,
you know?
MJ's bad at texting to
I
begin
am.
with. She like she's the type
In
of person.
our group text, she's like responds once every like 40 messages.
I was coming hot with like a meme
and that's how it is.
or a
Like
gif that
with our professional relationship too. I know if I need to talk business with her, I'm not going to text her. I'm going to
call me. Yeah.
I'm going to call you and be like, hey, look, let's do this, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah.
Boom. And she's like, all right, except for E, F, G is not good. So yeah.
Well, what about if you're just talking to somebody in the early stages? Is it okay to FaceTime them? Do you think that's sexy?
I love FaceTiming. But I was in a long distance relationship, so I got kind of used to it. But I FaceTime my friends all the time. I like to talk on the phone.
I'm a big FaceTimer. I talk on the phone all the time too, in the
love
same
it.
way.
And that's, I feel like the phone conversation is a lost art all of a sudden. I don't know what happened to it, but
I'd rather.
I love talking on the phone because I think things get misconstrued over text very easily.
Sure.
But like when I was driving over here, I was on the phone with one of my very good friends, and he was telling me about this date he went on last night. My boy got a date.
Hey,
I'm so proud of him.
put it in the bag.
Exactly.
Put it in it. No, just kidding.
And he was telling me about this date with this girl who when I first found out about her, I was like, I don't trust her.
Being the girlfriend friend.
Yeah, being the girlfriend. But so I love a good phone conversation because I don't want to read 15 paragraphs about your date. Just tell me about it because I want to hear your real reaction to it anyway. So people, let's bring the phone talk back.
Yeah, and don't if a girl you want to FaceTime with her, ladies are a little bit more like, I just fucking woke up. Like I
Yeah.
got to work these bags. We got to get eyebrows.
Yeah, so just be
on.
like,
there's things.
I will schedule FaceTime. Well, I would
Yeah.
with my ex. Like we would have to be intentional about that type of intimacy where it's like, okay, 5:00, let's have a, FaceTime date or whatever. So I think in dating, I have rules. I got rules. So if you're on a dating app, you talk
So
for a
does
little bit.
Doja Cat.
Play with my pussy, but don't play with my
My favorite
emotions.
song. Right?
Yeah, so like if you're on an app, you talk for a little bit, you exchange numbers, eventually you text for a little bit. But I like to do all that within like, I like to meet somebody within like 72, like 3 to 4 days. Because I don't want a fucking phone boyfriend. That's not what I want out of life. So I do a FaceTime date before I meet them because
You're like screening them, just looking for what's in the background.
Also, catfit. That's
catfishes.
catfish
I'm more looking for
101.
catfishing, men who are in relationships who are lonely and on dating apps. Like these are a lot of things that I've come into play with in my life that I've just set these rules. It's like, okay, if you can't call me, if you can't FaceTime me, if you only want to meet me when I'm at work and you bring me Taco Bell or something.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. That wasn't me. That was a friend of ours.
We had a
but-
friend. This guy. They were talking all the time, meeting. She went through all Bree's rules. We FaceTime, we chat, this and that. But he only has time to see me at work. He's like, yeah, swing by while I'm working.
And I was like,
Red flag.
because he's got a relationship
Yeah.
back at home. He's got a wife and kids.
Exactly.
So, but like stuff like that is just like I kind of like set these rules where maybe I seem to dominating or whatever at first, but I want to make sure that I'm not going to show up at the bar and just be like, oh God, you don't look like your picture, or oh God, like what the fuck is this?
That's also that we had our friend that
we had
was
our
like,
friend,
he's like, she was pretty, and then we got on the
FaceTime,
and I was like,
It's the angles. We talked about this on your
we
show.
did, and that's what he because he was messaging me back, and like he was messaging me about it. He was like, I tried to do a FaceTime date. He's like, thank you for the suggestion. Basically,
that is a good suggestion.
And I was like, why? And he was like, I don't know what filter she used, but she didn't look like her pictures. And I was like, everybody just needs to use the natural filter, the one that like it's called no filter. Come on, ladies, get on board.
I think it's also awkward too because people have mannerisms or things, and you can pick up on that in a video chat too. You would be like, oh, he's fine. All of a sudden you're like, boy, he laughs and it's very creepy. I don't know, something you're like, oh.
Well, and that video chat date is what saved me from that crazy dude. So, because he went weird on me real quick, and I was like,
so if you match with somebody on, let's say, Bumble, do you think it's best for a man to try to schedule a date within the first 72 hours, or do you think there's a double standard there?
no, I would love that.
Yeah,
Personally, I would.
It's not
because
too pervasive.
To me, I like a guy who takes a little bit of charge. Because so much of my life personally is like me making decisions for other people, and me making us making decisions together, and me having to just that if a guy was like, you know what, I'd love to meet you for drinks on Saturday. Let's go to this place. I'll be there at 7. I'd be like, thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Get in there.
Yeah.
You want to get in there? I think nobody wants their time wasted either.
Because even if you as a man text that to a girl you're interested in, and they're like, you know what, I'm not interested, that saves you time too, to be like, you know what, I don't want to just text somebody back and forth for, a month and then us ghost each other.
Yeah,
So,
that tends to happen a lot.
It does. And it's something I've come into play too. It's just like, we go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We're going to meet up? No. We're going to meet up? No. Because my schedule's in sync up and his schedule.
Next.
Yeah. Thank you. Next.
Boring. Yeah, it's all about timing. I think we've talked about people like being the same crazy girls as always, but our relationship cycles slow. Maybe right now we want to settle down. Right now we go into our hoe phase or, whatever. So it's like timing with people, if you meet somebody, they might be like, God, she seems like the one. She has to be the one. We can never sync up, or she's getting over her ex or whatever the hell. It's timing, It could be the right person, but the wrong time.
Yeah.
So you got to just be like, where are we at right now? I don't got time for this bitch. Next, same thing,
I mean, I had a situation where a guy and I, who I, really, really liked, and he liked me, but we were both getting over really major heartbreak when we met. So we were using each other to get over the major heartbreak. And then, whatever.
Some flings have, I guess, meaning behind them, and some of them are just like a placeholder.
Yeah, and we were each other's placeholder. And then when I ended up meeting my ex-boyfriend now, and I was like, sorry, I met somebody, bye.
Yeah.
He was just like, because he was trying to end it, he was like, I don't think I'm ready to date. And I was like, yeah, I'm seeing somebody. And he was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And, there was a lot of weird tension between us for a while. And now we're cool, but we're cool now.
You're cool with all of your exes?
No.
That's a no.
No. A lot of I am. My friend who was just in town, he's an ex. And, we're even if both of us are in relationships, we still, like, if I go up to Seattle or if he comes down here, we still make it active to, like, an attempt to, like, meet for dinner once or twice, whatever.
There's
2. Well, you're long-term married, too.
Married, guys.
But
the exes are out of the picture.
Your one ex messaged you and you weren't like, fuck off!
Well, he did get out of prison, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a Vegas thing, 'cause I've never lived out of Vegas, or if it's a younger thing. But for a lot of my friends and me personally, like, I'm cool with most of my exes. I still follow them on social media.
Yeah,
yeah.
that is cool.
I think if you can't be like at least friendly with an ex, with any, like if you're like the one person that's like, all my exes are crazy, that's a major red flag. I have 2 exes I don't get along with, and it's just because of the way things ended. One, he lied to me the entire time we were together. You can hear it on our catfish episode, our first one, actually.
Oh, yeah.
He lied to me the entire time we were together. Come to find out, on my birthday, he texts me, happy birthday, darling, need to talk to you. call him up and he says, I've been lying to you. And I just assumed he was like fucking another chick. No, married our entire relationship. He was married and his wife found out about me. I had no fucking idea this guy was married. And I was so in love with him and I was so heartbroken. The other one I don't.
Yeah, he is not getting a call back. Ever.
Well, God, that was so fucked up. I was
time.
so heartbroken. And then the other one, you can hear that entire, relationship the first year of our podcast.
These are people that deceived you.
They
lied to you.
truly deceived me, truly lied to me. I mean, one of them had narcissistic personality disorder, so I went through, narcissistic abuse too. So that is a rabbit hole I would never want to fall down again. But everybody else, I'm still cool with my first boyfriend who I lost my virginity to. So I mean,
so it just depends, mostly dependent on how they end. If there's closure of some sort.
I wouldn't say closure. More so is like if you weren't a lying, cheating piece of shit.
You got to initially though just completely cut people off.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
How have you? I'm curious, like how have you dealt with like breakups? Like if you've broken up with somebody, do you kind of like cut off the social media? Do you block them? Do you mute them? Do you just kind of have to check out?
This may be a curveball, but so I've had 2 official girlfriends, maybe like 4 or 2 other like really serious, like could have been dating, those college, like, are we dating? We're not seeing anyone else kind of thing. Situationships, yeah. And they all ended things with me at the time. I was kind of a fucking shit show in college.
So have you ever had like true heartbreak?
My first girlfriend, Jen, that was probably like the most sad I'd been.
Yeah,
for sure. I definitely cried for sure. Like that was the one like emotional pain where I was like, wow, like emotional pain hurts.
It sucks.
I've never experienced love.
Oh, so you've never.
Unfortunate.
Oh man,
yeah, unfortunately,
you've never experienced that true heartbreak.
Yeah, no, because it
sucks.
Yeah, the longest, I guess, the longest fling relationship, whatever you want to call it, lasted was maybe 6 months, 8 months. Like,
so you've never been in a multi-year relationship or anything.
Have you had to separate social media from it? Like even say Jen, was that something where you had to just like?
No, we still follow each other. My most recent or the last fling. We definitely don't follow each other. I think she actually has me blocked.
Okay, yeah.
I came home one day from a club and we were already broken up at the time, and like there's a story behind it, but at the house I lived in, there was like 5 of us, and we had this like common whiteboard that everyone wrote on, and
that one right there.
Yeah, there's something like that. That's a calendar though, but yeah, but on the whiteboard it said like blank was here, like the girl, and I went on Snapchat and I was like, all right, everyone, it's time to say bye to this person forever. I wiped it off. I was super drunk. I woke up with like 4 messages from Snapchat. I was like, you're an asshole, and Blush blocked down a few of them.
Yeah, exactly. We all have to. I think that's the hardest part. Is like, what do you do after that breakup? Do I delete all my pictures? Do I block them? Sometimes you just have to take space from them, or however that is going to be. But the hardest is going to be like deleting the photos.
Yeah, I come across the pictures. I never did delete them. They come on my time hop every once in a while.
I know. I didn't delete. I deleted all the photos immediately with my last. Well, not my last relationship, the bad relationship. Yeah.
But it's like when it comes to like old photos like that, is it weird to hold on to them? Because I guess how you could view them, if that person's still in relationships, like, oh, he's creepy. But then it's like, what if you're reflecting on like a good memory with that person where you were out together and it was like a fun time?
Or you do the childish thing I did where you put a clown emoji on their face.
Put an eggplant on his face or something.
No, it was a clown emoji.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. So what's like the proper procedure for something like that?
We've had this question
We
before.
have, and we don't have a right answer. I have some photos of me with my most recent ex that I will not get rid of from our first date. I look so happy. We both look so happy in those photos that.
Yeah. Well, in social media goes back so far now. Like everybody using it now is like, what? I'm going to delete pictures of me and like my childhood boyfriend. It goes so deep. I guess you just kind of got to feel like it's out there. I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah,
that's what I think now. But back when I met my husband in 2008, so. I maybe had some MySpace shit to delete, so it wasn't that bad. I was like, well, we got to get rid of this. So for me personally, I don't really have pictures of my ex and stuff, but I can imagine how different it is now and how deep you have to dive to get rid of that whole past.
I've seen some friends literally like clean up their whole Instagram account. There's like 4 pictures left.
What's interesting is I want to see what your exes look like.
Yeah.
And not in a weird stalker way. I just want to be like, you know what? I want to know what else you're attracted to.
Okay.
See, yeah, I was.
Because I went on a deep dive with my ex to find the one ex, the one who turned into a lesbian.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. She's like, oh, this is the ex, and she's a lesbian now. We look nothing alike, and
Seriously.
what the fuck?
This
you
is
know?
something I come in contact with. I guess men don't have types the way I think they do, because I usually look nothing like a guy I'm seeing's ex-girlfriend, like in any way whatsoever. And I'm like,
Do you have a type though?
apparently I do.
Do you have a type? Do you think you have a type?
Yeah,
Yeah.
generally smaller girls, like 5'3", 5'2".
Okay.
Oh, short.
Shorter
the
girls, yeah,
petite,
generally
okay.
shorter girls. Yeah, generally smaller.
I like tall guys.
We're looking at it like big boobs, big butt.
Yeah.
You know, blonde hair, dark hair. That's how we compare. We're like, does he have that kind of type?
Yeah,
You know?
I like tall guys.
Yeah.
And then my friend pointed out to me, I like guys with narrow faces. And I was like, what? And he told me that. He was like, look at your dating pattern. And
That's
I was
funny.
like, he's like, they're all tall and they have like, they don't have round faces. They have like narrower faces. And I was like, I need somebody to reach the top shelf for me. I'm 5'1".
Yeah, I'd say like all of my casual relationships, situationships was like white and Hispanic for the most part.
Okay.
For the most part, I've hooked up with one black girl before.
Okay.
That was kind of like a situationship for a little bit too. So kind of just all over the place.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm more turned on by intellect, like personality. Obviously, attractiveness is what's going to keep you there.
So would
but
you say you're a sapiosexual?
I wouldn't go that far, but it's a main proponent to dating. And for me, like I'm generally talking to somebody for like months before we actually date. Like all of those relationships, we talked for probably 2 or 3 months before it was actually like an exclusive thing.
So also
cool.
demisexual
Demisexual
is very emotional connection. Before.
Yeah.
That might be, but the intellect. I just heard about that.
Sapiosexual.
Yeah, what's that? Very craves that very intellectual.
I will say this though. I think a lot of people say they're a lot of dudes on dating apps will be like, I'm such a sapiosexual. And I think they say it to get girls to be like, oh, he seems like a quality dude. Because I see it on Bumble a lot.
like he must be smart.
I see it on Bumble a lot. And I think it's a way to like hook, like a lot of dudes use it as a way to hook women. Because when I see it, I'm like, I know better because I've seen you before. Because once again, Vegas is a small town for those who listen that don't live here. I don't think you can play 2 degrees of separation here. Like I'm sure you and I know a lot of the same people. We don't realize we know a lot of the same people.
And the same people on the same dating apps.
Yeah.
I see my friends go through dating apps. They're like on Hinge and they pop over to Bumble and they're like, it's the same dudes.
Same
Plenty of
fucking-
fish. I'm going to
Literally.
go with the free one.
Yeah.
Like seriously, I like when people are like, you should start like do a Match.com account. And I'm like, why? Because they're all on Hinge and it's free over here.
Ooh, isn't there one that you can do? And this might be the new one when you get back out there, is where you can do it location based. People can be on their little app and it's like tells you people in the area that.
Oh,
is that
all
just
of them
Grindr?
do. That's all of them.
Is it?
Yeah, they all have like a location
clueless.
thing.
Yeah,
to
so
it.
like
sit at a
It'll say
bar and be
like,
like-
I think on Tinder it says like miles away.
They're
from
red
you.
dots.
Bumble
on
does
people?
too.
Yeah.
So like if
It
Jake and
GPSs them? Or is it just from their original location?
So like if Jake and I were both on Bumble and we swiped on each other and we were 5 miles away from each other, it would
what
say
if you're at the same bar? Would it?
it would say 1 mile away. Usually
It would say 1 mile away.
would
Yeah,
say
that's
1
like
mile.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I thought I was coming in with a hot take. It's like, nope, this is.
but there is a fun
The
one.
MJ app is coming to next.
She's like it's like the pedophile thing where you have to spot the rental house, but it's like willing to fuck with MJ.
Breaking news over here from 2005. Okay, I'm not the tea.
It's like you ever been to a stoplight party?
No.
You never been to that?
Chinese fire drill. You get out and run around the thing.
What's a stoplight
So we
party?
threw a few of these in the fraternity. So it's like you're either wearing red, green, or yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Green is like single and DTF pretty much. Red is
Oh.
like relationship. Yellow is like
We'll see.
we'll see.
Interesting.
I would be in a lot of yellow.
Be head to toe yellow. Be like, just kind of take your pick. Yeah, just
Yeah.
like see what's up.
I had the
Your
funny.
whole friend being green. You're like, girl.
And then you get the people. Yeah, you get the people that come and wear purple, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't want to play this game." It's like, get the fuck out.
Damn, that's who gets all the play all night.
Yeah.
Too. Like, why are you wearing purple?
Look at this contrarian in the corner.
Yeah, the girls are surrounded by the guy in purple, and he's just like, I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm about.
Yeah, that was
funny.
that was a cool, successful party. Yeah,
Sounds like a fun party.
We bring stoplight parties back.
I
ready.
want to go to a party so
dude,
bad.
house parties are where it's at.
I want
House
to go to a house party so bad. I was like talking to my friend about it. I was like, because okay, my family. I just got back from LA visiting my family, and everything turns into a house party with us because we're all fucking alcoholics. Like, not even gonna lie. Like, my entire family is Mexican, and I'm not. We don't even need to get into that. It's weird. So we're all big drinkers though. So it was my cousin's baby shower. My cousin was like, I'm never getting married and I'm never having kids. And then he married his 5-year fuck buddy. Yes. And I was like, look at you two. And now they're expecting their first child. So we were throwing this baby shower, and that's why I was out in LA. I would like just needed to be with my family and stuff. And my other cousin, she told me, she was like, hey, do we have enough beer? And I was like, for a baby shower? She goes, do you know who we are? And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I like, we went and got a bunch of beer, and we like were playing pool and we're drinking and we're all hanging out. Like, we did the baby shower shit right away because we needed to get through that.
We needed to get to the beer.
We needed to get to the fun part. And I was watching it, and I was like, God, I fucking miss house parties.
Yeah.
And I just miss that.
I've always loved house parties, man.
Gosh.
We get a fraternity house, the
Yeah.
ultimate house party.
Yeah.
The ultimate theme parties are fun. We used to do like Tour de Franzia. Everyone dresses. Everyone dresses up like they're about to. Well, yeah, definitely wine, and there's a lot of slap in the bag. We'd buy like 15 box wines of Franzia, but everyone was dressed up like Tour de France, like they're a biker.
And then you had to go to like the different wines and drink
Yeah, and
it.
everyone's
Like
like,
the
slapping the
Kardashians
bag and
and their-
stuff. Yeah,
their
we did.
bicycle
Yeah,
fits.
what else did we do?
my
We did
gosh.
CEOs and office hoes.
Yeah.
Can we throw some
Yeah.
themed parties?
The
Yes, immediately.
thing now though is with like PC culture, it's hard to throw a lot of those without
know.
anybody getting offended.
Seriously.
It killed a lot of those.
I know.
Yeah.
It's true.
It
That is
sucks.
true.
PC culture is killing a lot of stuff. I think Greek life is going to inevitably die off too because of PC culture. When I was at UNLV, they were suspending everybody every year for like stupid shit.
Cancel culture shit.
and there's fraternities based on race and religion and ethnicity and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
and
it's-
even business, math, like there's all kinds of ones.
So do you
Yeah.
think like the Jewish fraternities are gonna, like, I know you said Greek life's gonna go away, but like with all this, like, oh, this is a black fraternity, this is Jewish, do you think it's gonna all have to be intertwined now, or?
let's
think-
fight the power. 'Cause, I mean,
There are what do they call it? Like multiracial or multinational fraternities and sororities as well. But I think also just because college is mostly online now, no one's gonna be on campus.
it's such a shame.
It sucks because college now is not really used for education. It's mostly used as like a social network.
I saw that they had like one of these big colleges. I don't know, but they were like, people are signing up for like influencer degrees.
What?
Yes, like they're taking courses in influencing and learning social media.
I'm
and,
gonna
like,
teach you how to, I mean,
Yeah.
A lot of these new trends and things that were built on the internet, I would not trust at a university, especially
Neither would
somebody
I.
who's probably like in their 50s trying to
He
teach
was.
it.
He was like
Yeah.
some old balding dude. I was like, ugh,
he's like, let me tell you how to grow
what are
your
you teaching-
Instagram
yeah, what are you teaching
following.
these 19-year-olds? Nothing, you know.
Oh God, they're teaching you.
Oh,
Was that your phone?
it's probably gonna say brush your teeth.
That's mom life right there.
I was doing a tour right before this today. I was at the UNLV Office of Economic Development. I think it's called. And the woman I was talking with, we were talking about blockchain and crypto, and she was talking about how like some of the blockchain, there's like blockchain classes being taught at universities, and I was like, blockchain was built on the internet, so like why would people go to a university to learn these things that were built by us? Like, it's just not something you could trust. I think universities are just trying to make like a last pitch before they inevitably die off.
Yeah, you can learn anything yourself on the internet now. So it's
YouTube
not
University.
It's not even special anymore. Like you can pay to get a certificate in almost anything, but does it have any?
Yes, it does, because I am a human sexuality specialist for doing that.
No, you're a tantric magic. What is it?
I'm also certified in tantric sex and sex magic. Yes,
Sex magic.
What is that?
tantric sex.
It's a course you can get a
tantric?
certificate for.
Tantric. It's like Kama Sutra type stuff. Sex magic itself is using your orgasms to monetize on what you're trying to Why can't I think of the word right now? It's using your orgasms to basically like bring in what you want from the universe. So like, because orgasms are a very powerful thing, especially the female orgasm. Hey,
It lasts like 3 times as long or something like that.
oh yeah, that's in tantra. It's a pain in the ass, honestly.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
breathing.
It's a lot of like.
Who has the time for tantra? I don't.
It's a lot of like edging yourself, which edging can be fun. But at one point, I'm like, can you just come, please?
Wear me out. I know.
I'm so tired. Like, I got to do shit tomorrow.
So what's like a satisfactory sex duration?
You know what? For me, it's I had a partner. His big thing was he had to count my orgasms because he wanted me to come enough. You know who?
Interesting.
High fiver.
So it wasn't time dependent then.
It wasn't time dependent. It was just like, well, I mean, he went all night, but yeah. So it to me, it's not time dependent. To me, it's like, are we both coming? And I know sex isn't always about coming, but like, I at least need to feel my orgasm.
For me, it's about fun. It's like
Yeah.
how much did we cram into
Yeah.
this romp? Was it just like sometimes a hot bend
Quickie.
over quickie?
love a
is
good
hot,
quickie.
but also it's like, oh my gosh, we did this, and we were breaking out the flogger and broken out the butt plug and
Yeah.
getting the toys, and
Yeah.
it's like that's something you remember. You're like, I was wild last night, babe. You know,
Yeah.
so
It's just
it's
dependent
about
on
what goes into it. you
Yeah, I
know?
think it depends on the mood because every now and then I'm like, can we just do a quickie in the back seat of the car, like, and make it feel like high school again? You know?
That's why I have a navigator.
Yes. Or it's like, you know, we're both adults. You know what the one thing I don't like though is? I don't like 69.
It's such a.
Ugh.
It's it's all right. It always happens. It always seems to happen. but
No,
it's
I'm
not
like-
I
very
feel like
relaxing.
it's just more about the joke than anything.
I'm like, we're,
It's like we're 69.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're both adults here. We can take turns.
Yeah. If I'm giving head, like getting, and then it's like just grab me and want to,
Yeah.
give me. It's like
Yeah.
I'm still doing it, but I'm like I'm not really getting the full effect. So I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna stop here and sit for a minute, just keep it going.
a little bit
but
of
like it's
fingering
hard to
when
really
you're
going
giving-
both ways.
Yeah, a little bit of fingering when you're giving head's good.
Yes,
But like
totally.
the full on like 69, I'm like, oh.
That's a lot of work you're putting out and trying to receive at the same time, and sometimes it's just it's
It's too confusing. Okay. Too much stimulation.
a lot of work. You're like, I'm trying to enjoy, but I'm also
Depends
choking.
where you are. Are you on a couch, a bed? Are you sideways?
Yeah.
Like the guy definitely has to be on bottom, or else it's just
Yeah.
Oh God, right?
I've had that.
I do gotta.
Get over there.
I do have to ask you a question as our bachelor. This is something that has pondered me for years because it's
here we
something
go.
that happened to me, and I'm like, I thought I was doing great, and I got called out for something.
Oh.
Okay, so I was dating no, we didn't date. I'm sorry. I met a guy on vacation and we had a fling. He ended up coming here and we had a fling too, the Australian.
Yep.
But when I was
All
down
characters on the podcast.
yes. All characters on Keeping It Casual. So the Australian, he was a boob guy, and oh man, I have him.
Go figure.
Tends to be what I attract. But anyways, so we were doing a little like titty fucking and whatever, and I was moaning to try and be like present and in the moment, and like whatever with him, and he was like, "I know that doesn't feel good for you," and I was like. Fuck, okay, I'll just be silent
I
then.
need some ASMR. I mean, this is part of the thing.
Do you really just want me to be like,
well,
Sad face.
silence is general. If you're doing that, and silence is definitely awkward.
see? Okay, so I was trying to be in the moment and make him feel like I was into it. That's
Was it a Samantha Jones like, oh,
No.
getting crazy with
no, it was just a little like slight like
like you like that? You know you like that.
Yeah. So I was doing the
I think the noise is good for sure.
I was doing
And
the pro thing.
'cause
Okay.
that's a situation where it's like that would be definitely awkward quiet.
yeah, if I was just like,
especially depending on like, is he sitting and you're like kneeling over doing it? Are you both laying on the bed? Like,
I can tell you exactly how this
Yeah.
was set up. I was on my knees and
yeah,
he was
he's sitting
yeah.
down. Yeah.
Straddling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lap dance.
Yeah.
Kind of do.
Yeah.
Were you doing like hardcore, like
Yeah,
of
because
course.
if there's hardcore eye contact, you're doing this while it's just quiet.
No, I actually,
like,
yes.
am I in trouble?
I think there was some eye contact. I tend to, okay, I'm weird about eye contact though, because I can only do eye contact with people I feel very, very intimate with.
It's very carnal.
It is.
Ah,
That's why, like, if I'm doing eye contact, it'll be like a whole thing where I'll like grab you by the throat and be like, "Pay attention." Like the brat is like, they're like, "What happened to that sweet little submissive girl? What happened there?"
Yeah. Yeah. It usually eye contact means you better do what I say. That's,
Like a dominant.
Yeah.
But there could be some sensualness to it as well.
One of the, like, I almost cried once with one of my exes. We like both like kind of came at the same time, and we were like staring in each other's eyes, and I like, it was one of the most intimate moments of my life.
I was going to say, when it's intimate, when it's staring in the eyes and I'm not being dominant, that's almost like
It was like the-
teary. Like that,
Yeah.
that's like, oh, I'm just so
because it was like the first
emotional.
time we were like saying
Very
it
awkward.
was right when we started saying I love you to each other and stuff, and we were just like and I remember like pulling away and being like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh yeah, it's two very different energies. You
Yeah.
know? It's like, so I don't usually like, I guess I don't make too much eye contact when
That's-
it's that
that's-
passionate.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing about sex is like it can be interpreted so many different ways based off the mood.
true.
What happened beforehand? Were you guys out? Is this the first time meeting? Like,
Do you-
is it a hate fuck?
yeah.
Oh god, I haven't had a good hate fuck in a long time.
So now that you two are going to be getting back out there, a favorite question we love to ask: is there any first night sleepover fears? Do we ask you that?
First night sleepover fears.
Yeah, like say you're their place, or say somebody's at your place. Is it like, is she gonna leave?
I generally most of the one night stands that I had in college were mostly at my place.
Okay.
Um,
Going
that makes
forward,
sense. I don't one night stand at my
from now on though, but going forward, is there any
fears.
first night sleepover fears that are really kind of like, things
Like,
you're gonna anticipate?
Do you fear that she's gonna take your paddle
Paddle?
off the wall and fucking beat you with it?
Nice.
I saw that and I was like,
is
what's up?
the frat paddles,
paddles
good old
over
frat
there.
paddles. There's like 5 or 6 of them.
Very nice. Now, do you use them? What if they wanted to use them on you?
I've definitely been hit with them before. not in the bedroom sense.
Like in the frat boy sense.
Sound like you've been hit and spanked. It sound like you've been hit with one.
Honestly, I'm a pretty open person. I'm down to try most things. I don't know if I have fears, just because I'm ready to just go back out there and
You don't
see
fear
what's
like
out there.
I'm gonna wake up with the worst breath ever, like that type of thing.
No, not.
Or what if
not
you have to
really.
wake up and like, oh god, I remember you have to wake up and you really have to go to the bathroom or something. You're like, oh, I gotta go.
Worst fears.
That's the
I
worst.
guess like peeing during sex has been a fear before. If you're just like too full from before, but it just gets too hot and steamy.
Oh man, I'll pause. I'll be like, excuse me, hold on, hold please.
in pain.
Pee?
Peeing.
Peeing. Okay.
Peeing.
I was like, pain. Oh no, what's happening?
Oh, pain! I'll straight up be like, ah!
You know, they like get crazy and they break it or they
Yeah.
bend it or something. I've heard about that.
I had a friend in high school that happened to him twice. He was laying down, the girl was riding on top of him. Came out too far. He had to
just-
go to the hospital.
That's
Snapped
what I
his
heard.
dick.
I've
yeah.
heard that with anal. It happens a lot too if you pull out too far.
Ugh.
Pain. But I think just at this point, it's just we've all been suppressed for so long. Like I don't even know what to fear. Even
I fear performance.
I would slightly
like
fear,
bad performance.
I would be hesitant if I didn't know Jake did a podcast and I walked into his
Oh yeah, I would be
his place and saw the cameras. I'd be like,
Like what is happening?
oh. She might be like, let's do this.
That's the thing. You could definitely just turn it around real quick.
Exactly.
Like you said in the beginning. It's like
You'd be like,
the studio's 3 seconds away from becoming a porn set.
It really is.
You
Well,
need to
that's
full
why we're having a
disclose.
three-way.
you need a full disclose. You bring a lady up here, be like, listen, there's
I had a thought. I was watching the. I think I told you this. I was watching the OnlyFans documentary before,
yeah.
like right before I
Yes.
came on to your guys' show, and I was like, what if I had an OnlyFans where I like interviewed the person like naked, but you can only see the top part of us, and then on the OnlyFans portion is just like sex.
I think you've just nailed an itch.
That's awesome. There's people on.
I heard there's like porn setups that do that,
Welcome
where they
back,
actually
Pasties.
record the podcast. Yeah, they actually record podcasts and they film the porn afterwards. But I was like,
you?
that's a market.
Would I be in porn?
Would you come back in pasties? Topless interview. I'll do it if you do it.
Depends.
See how it goes, Jake.
Yeah, I'm like it dependent. Like single, sure, but like,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
If there's any strip club owners or strippers that are listening to this,
Yeah.
start a podcast.
Yeah.
That's actually a great idea.
I want to go
that's some good shit
interview.
right there.
Like, I want to go down to a brothel in Pahrump and like interview the girls. Like, I've got questions.
Stories.
Like, tell me, please.
It's like,
Yeah.
can we just keep it about the brothel, though? Your sad stories are going to take us too deep.
yeah, no, I don't want all that.
It's a long way.
Never,
Tell me the
never
sex.
gone to a brothel before.
I mean, do
I
you
would be
want
open.
to?
I would be open.
Yeah?
I'd be open to check it out.
Okay.
Interesting.
Would you
And
be open to,
paying?
yeah?
Paying? Yeah.
Yeah?
Have you ever?
Okay. You're like, all right.
Have
Yeah,
you ever paid
try
for
it.
a hand job?
Hey.
Have I? No.
Okay, so I have.
Telling.
This question was already answered.
All right. Was this question? This is her first date line of question. Go for it.
That's funny.
Have you ever paid for it?
Have you ever paid for a hand job? No, I mean that's what we're talking about. No, because I have a friend, one of my exes. He has a friend who has an app on his phone that'll tell him where he can go get pay for a hand job anywhere. He's like,
Happy ending.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like at the massage parlors.
yeah, and
stuff.
he's like, we would be in fucking. They would travel the world together, and he'd like, we'd be in the Philippines, and like 1 second I'd be at the bar with all my boys, and then he'd be gone, and know I've met this guy. I know his name. I know him as hand job in my brain though because of those stories. I'm like, oh, so how's hand job doing? And he's like, hand job's booed up now, and like he's like living with a girl and he's fine now, but like he will always be hand job to me. Like,
Hand jobs are a lot of work.
that's my fuckboy mentality right there. I'm like, you're nicknamed hand job. That's it.
See, my thing with like paying for sex is like if you're going to a brothel and pay for sex, if you take someone out on a date and have a $300 tab and they hook up with you, you're still paying for sex.
You're supporting
Right.
the arts.
You support, yeah, right. I'm supporting a business owner or an entrepreneur,
I'm
an independent contractor.
a sexual man, and if I want to go in there and check out the hotties and support her, then
Yeah.
And so
no.
it's like
Good for
I don't think there should be like a taboo around it. Like prostitution should be legal to begin with.
Oh, I agree 100%.
I mean, it kind of is. It's just like when you're not doing it in the corporate environment.
Yeah, well, it's
not,
I mean,
right?
working at a club, you see them around a lot,
Oh yeah.
a lot.
Oh yeah. Just living in Vegas.
Yeah.
One waving at me when I turned to come
It's
to
just-
your place.
Yeah,
I was like, she's not asking for money. She's just waving. She's like, hey.
I was actually approached by a person once, and he was like, look, I manage women, and I was like, and then he was like, it's a very high class situation though. He's like, I do like NBA players, and that like he's like, my clientele is classy, and I was like, but could I?
see, it should be legalized, and then you can have more research and development money
Yeah.
put into it.
Yeah.
Research grants. You could like everyone be STD free. There wouldn't have to be worry about anything like that.
They do that at the brothels. That they're very like I have heard this that they make these girls go and they have to live there for 2 weeks and do like STD test after STI test and wait till they get all their results back before they can even like hit the floor.
See, if I went to a brothel, I would probably tell a girl to teach me something. If I'm gonna pay for it, teach me something in the
Yeah.
bedroom.
Yes.
Like then I get a sexual experience
Exactly.
too.
And you're gonna get some OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Some
Material.
girls for your OnlyFans
Yeah.
hosting thing. They'll be like, we'll do it.
I'm here to learn and make content.
I think
And guess what, lady? Gonna be on my show.
I think you should learn something from every sexual experience you have, whether it be
Yeah.
like I didn't like that or damn, I'm gonna have to incorporate that in next time.
But what do you do when you haven't had, have the same partner forever? And then, like, what are you guys going to do then, huh?
Helicopter. Do the helicopter move.
well, how do you guys research new things? Is it from watching porn?
That's a
You-
you
that's a
and
you.
Chris.
That's an MJ question. Yeah, like how do you research new things to try out in the bedroom?
I will be honest, that sponsor you talked about it's like a sexual subscription box. It's filled with vibrators and different things, and it comes every quarter. So,
Sometimes more.
yeah, and I come every quarter. So does Chris. But it has
I hope it's more than that.
yeah, right? Yeah. Well, sometime. Never mind.
Married life.
But it definitely has, because you're like, why do I keep needing to get new sex toys? But they're different things to try. Like, oh, this nipple clamp, so this is a butt club, or this is a not a butt club. That's something Jake might have used.
See,
paddles.
See what was it? The cock ring that you gave me?
Yeah.
Is it over there?
It's on my safe with all that other sexual wellness stuff that Jeff gave me.
It's ready to go. Oh, it's standing up straight.
That's why it's also like a part porn room. Like there's all kinds of stuff in here.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like all these new things.
Be careful next time you bring a girl back here.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Pre-warned.
Yeah,
You'll be like, these two girls, they gave me a bunch of cock rings, and just don't worry about that.
There's a lot of sexual things going on. There's cameras, like there's paddles. There's a lot. There's a gentleman on the wall. Do not be scared. But,
and then shut the door and be like, "Welcome to the jungle, baby."
Yeah. You need to walk in and like clap. The lights turn purple.
Disco ball comes on.
Yes.
I was originally, my original idea was I was going to get red velvet ropes like outside a club and put it around the bed or the table. Yes. Like you're now a VIP.
Come on in.
You need to get the proper wristbands then too.
Wristband their asses. Oh no, I love it.
Bret Michaels did that on Rock of Love. His VIPs, they had like backstage passes that they got to walk around with.
Oh God. Oh, but just to answer that question, I will say that sex toys and all these weird new fun sex toys, because otherwise sex is sex, you know. But if you want to just play around with different things, that's what happens.
And I would say like
And you know,
intentional intimacy is how you keep
Yeah.
it going. Like our friend Shanti was talking about, and you and Chris have picked up on, like maybe finding porn you guys can watch together. That's not just like
just you know,
that's not just
Pornhub.
straight Pornhub, you know. And setting a scene, and you know, there's always things that, or retaking the BDSM quiz together to see if anything's changed. And it's like, oh, you know what? That I didn't have that before. Let's see where that comes from. Maybe explore that. I think that's a good way to
Playing
do that.
our getting to know you game, which is just
Yeah.
a fun, very conversational game, but just having it with your partner, just to kind of like, even somebody I've known him for 12 years now, you know, it's like we can just talk about anything.
Yeah.
And it's fun to kind of reconnect, and it gets things feeling sexy. But yeah, you know, it becomes like, it's not all the gymnastics are new of it, but it's different ways to have sex, you know, different ways to play around with foreplay or different toys, and you know,
And sometimes it doesn't.
tequila always helps.
There's that. But sometimes it doesn't even have to be, oh my God, we're busting out the toys and
Yeah.
we're going to play the game. Sometimes it's just putting on a movie that makes the both of you laugh, and, you know, having a bottle of wine. And
Or just some laying there on the couch side sex, you know?
yeah.
Some lazy sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's usually like the next morning if you're too hungover.
Yeah.
You still have
I love lazy morning sex. Like, I'm a big fan of
the one night stand still there, and you're just like, all right, I'm too hungover to do anything. So
Yeah,
just
right.
turn over sideways.
Going? Yeah.
I can't say I've never done it anymore. Damn it.
What?
I am not a sleepover person with a one night stand. I do not. I've only done it the one time. And the one time I did it, I was like, oh, I went back to her and I was like,
I think the thing with like having them stay over is just like I have to dedicate half of the day the next day to this person, whether you're like
Breakfast.
sometimes breakfast, yeah, or
I don't like it.
Coffee.
drive them to their car.
I don't like it. And it has
Like-
nothing to do with the man in the situation. It's like, I like my bed. I like my surroundings. This is my fuckboy mentality.
Well, it is true. It depends on like how you sleep. Because I'm generally like, if I'm sleeping with somebody, I just want like my side of the bed. Like I'm not trying to cuddle and put my arm under you where your hair's in my face and my arm's asleep, and I hate my life.
Yeah, you're just like, get your hair sticking to me.
Yeah.
Cuddling is an intimacy that is that you earn from me. Like, I don't just cuddle. Like, you have to earn that, and that comes with more long-term intimacy. I'm not just gonna snuggle up to you after we fucked. I'm gonna be like, so good job. If it's that type of situation, like usually I tend to sing like The Lonely Islands, I Just Have Sex. That's kind of where I go to. I'm like, let's make this goofy, because this is like that moment right after you've had sex, and it's the first time you've had sex with somebody and you're not in a relationship with
Yeah.
them. It's so fucking awkward.
It is.
It's like, what do we
As a guy, you're just like, what did I just do?
Yeah, you're like,
and trust me, as a girl, you're like that too. You're like, oh, okay. There's like that like immediate moment of like, oh God.
do you want a towel?
Yeah. To go get the towel's the immediate move because then you get to go to the bathroom too.
And I'm like the immediate, like, can you go get me a towel, please?
Yeah.
Like, I gotta clean this off.
Or you just walk around covered like a goddess, like, yeah.
Towel, water. Like.
Or I'll be like, can I go use your shower real quick? I gotta. Ugh.
Yeah.
And if I
you jump in the shower with them.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
Depends. If I like it, like.
I've done that.
Walking in with like a softie, questioning my life. With the, like, here,
Oh yeah, you're like,
let me.
this is the after effect.
Yeah.
I'm not in my full pronounced.
Okay,
Like watch, yeah.
So
you might not.
So girls do not give a shit. Like if you've just fucked and they're happy, they don't care about looking at your soft dick. Like I actually kind of like seeing a penis soft. Like I know that's weird, but I'm like, because I like to be like, damn, you grow pretty good. You know?
Definitely a grower. You got a garden.
Good for you.
So are you disappointed if a guy goes soft and he's the same?
No. Then I'm like,
Wow.
good for you.
Oh god. Oh.
I've never come in contact with that, but
Disappointed if a guy goes soft. Definitely.
unless he's, good at other things.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, or the sex that just doesn't end because you're both like so drunk and then you're like, you're gonna go already.
There's a fine line though between like for a guy where it's like drunk maximum efficiency to not anything to nothing.
We're not gonna. Then he realizes like I'm not gonna come. He starts slowing down.
Not even a blue pill is gonna like help this.
Yeah, that sex, I'm like, that's usually when I'm like, oh, it's not happening tonight, right?
Yeah, you're like, let's just take a water break.
Yeah.
Snack break.
Yeah,
That's usually when I'm like, do you got any weed, bro? Like, I need to get stoned for this.
Get my vibrator, okay? You just chill.
Sometimes if a guy has whiskey dick, all it could take is like 30 minutes and you're good to go. Sometimes it takes food. Sometimes conversation, like.
Okay,
know.
I actually offended a guy by
That's
asking out a vibrator.
That's happened to me before.
Yeah.
Where you have whiskey dick, and
happened
then
to all the
after
guys I've met.
and after like an hour, it was like, okay, I'm ready now.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't. Some can boot and rally, and some are just so.
That's why I said it depends how far it is when you cross over into the danger zone.
Some are just ready to sleep. You're just like,
I have some friends that literally carry Viagra with them every time they go out and use it every time. I'm like, you're gonna be broken in 5 years.
carry a what?
Viagra.
With them,
Viagra.
yeah,
Oh my
and they
gosh.
pop it like in the Uber on the way back.
Is
But
it-
like, it's if a guy pops Viagra the first time, they do it because they're like, I need to perform, maximum efficiency.
Yeah.
But it's like then you have to take it every time, right?
That's like getting Botox.
Yeah, right. What the upkeep? That's gonna be expensive.
Exactly. I actually recently discovered this. I didn't know this was a thing. My friend was telling me because he, when you have that best friend that's of the other sex, you talk about sex with each other and like I learn the male perspective, he learns the female perspective. He was like, yeah, I usually don't come from blowjobs. Most of my guy friends don't. And I was like, what? Huh? News to me. This is a thing.
I've had guy friends say that.
And
Really,
I'm like,
they can't come from a blowjob.
I've had guy friends say that's definitely not my situation.
and I was just like, tell me more about this. Like,
kind of the goal.
and then he told me like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Somebody I hooked up with, he doesn't come from blowjobs. And I was like, that's not true. I can attest to that.
Ooh. What about hand jobs? Are guys out there still wanting hand jobs?
No.
Good.
The Australian says
They carry some lube in my back pocket. All right, let's go.
the Australian says he prefers hand jobs over blowjobs.
What a weirdo. Like I could do a hand job better myself.
Exactly.
It's just not so casual. I mean, what you want a dry handy? That's not fun.
It's like, what are we in 8th grade?
I mean,
know.
like, it might be fun, like on an airplane or something.
I
but-
will say this though.
Maybe if you're like a table with your family, it's like
Yeah.
a.
Yeah.
you gotta make if you're gonna give a hand job, you gotta make it taboo.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. The art of the fingering is definitely
Oh, yeah.
still.
Oh yeah, no.
And guys skip that sometimes. They're just like, I remember like dating, and it's just like, okay, we're not doing that anymore because that's instant.
Oh yeah, like
Get things moving.
yeah,
Get things wet.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, do it. Do the thing.
So okay, handies are out, but just still take care of your ladies.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Hands around fingering is never
guys
going
just
on.
want blowjobs or sex.
Yes, exactly.
Apparently, they can't come from blowjobs. I've learned this recently, and I'm like, nah, that's not true.
No, I had a friend teach me in high school a little trick. I was like, oh, that, and then it was like, my surprise. So it worked. So I think it's a technique thing.
I learned how to give head from watching gay porn. Yes, when I went.
Interesting.
I went to a performing arts high school, the performing arts high school out here. So it was mostly gay men that went to high school with. I wasn't hooking
You
up.
went to LVA?
Yes, I did. I am an academy brat. So I remember when I started like in high school, like started being interested in sex, I talked to my friend. I was like, well, how do I touch a man? I didn't know. And he said, honey, watch gay porn. Then you'll learn how to touch a man properly. He's like, what those women are doing in regular porn is ridiculous. And I was like, all right, I will. So that's how I learned my proper blowjob techniques.
That would probably make sense for like females too. If a
Yeah.
guy wants to know, watch the lesbian porn where they don't have long fingernails.
Oh my
Those
God, I
aren't real
fucking hate that. When they have those long nails, I'm like, oh my God, her poor pussy.
If it's the long hair, it'd just be like, next, I'm trying to learn tonight. Okay, we'll go back to that one. But if you want to learn something, they need to have
If
like
you want
short nails.
to, if you want to learn a little bit about oral, they have to have short nails. Usually watch porn with lesbian porn with a little bit of bush. Then you'll learn.
Oh yeah, those bitches are.
Dude, the first porns I ever watched were lesbian porns for a long time.
Very
I, like, never even-
standard for men.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
yeah.
not saying that. But I mean, I think lesbian porn's hot too.
I remember growing up, there was like this box in my garage. It was like my dad's friend left this box in there. I think we're in like 4th grade or 5th grade.
But instead,
We looked in there and there's like porn mags and VHSs.
I was gonna say, was it
DVDs or VHS?
Yeah.
Yes.
And we pulled some out, and my best friends growing up, their parents were never home. They would work till like 5, and we went down and turned on this lesbian 6-hour porn and watched it. And there's like anal beads, and like I was like, what is? What is that? And I thought like porn was only lesbian porn for a long time. Like I never even thought of like man on woman, heterosexual.
you're probably like a kid. You're like, I'm not gonna watch a dude.
Yeah,
This is cool,
exactly.
you
Yeah.
know?
Why do I want to look at someone else's dick?
Yeah, right.
One
I
of the
know.
most unsexy things I ever did in my life is I had bought a Jenna Jameson Brianna Banks movie. And okay, that's not the unsexy part. I watched the special features on the DVD, which was the behind the scenes. Because I was like, all right, the porn's fun, but like I came and I was like, well, what else does this have? Special features? What's that? I'm thinking like it's like zoomed in more or something. No, they did like a behind the scenes, and there was a scene where Jenna Jameson was putting anal beads in Brianna Banks, and she's pulling them out, and you just see Brianna Banks go, nothing else is coming out, right? And I was like, I can never watch this again.
Why does Brianna Banks sound familiar?
She was one of the Jenna Jameson. She was on whatever that.
And Jenna Jameson's from Vegas.
Yes, she is. No, she was just one of those fantasy girls. Brianna Banks was not brunette. She was blonde, but she used to feature dance a lot at Sapphires. That's probably where you know her.
Maybe. Anyways,
But the first porn I ever watched was Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson.
Really?
I think that was like the first guy on girl. Dude, I watched that one like a million times growing up.
Yes, because
Most guys
seen
my
it.
generation, watch that
my parents
to see
owned
it.
it, and I found their porn stash once, and I was like,
on a boat.
oh,
"What's up, Tommy Lee?"
I heard he's.
Yeah, he's good. They were in Lake Mead.
Horse.
I watched the Paris Hilton one with Rick Solomon, and it was
can't.
just so sad.
I know, and then you watch the documentary where
Well, let's just face it. She was answering her phone during sex. She was just kind of like, I'm bored. My phone. Hold on. Hello. I was like, this is bad. This is bad sex going on here.
it was bad sex. And then you watch the documentary where she's like, he made me do that. I didn't want to, and it just like
Looked
breaks
like
your
it. She was
heart.
on the phone.
Yeah.
That Pam Anderson sex tape was like one of the first like celebrity sex tapes
It
of our
was.
generation.
And
Yeah.
they so I have a friend. We have a friend, Gina, who
Yes.
So she worked in the porn industry forever. She used to write for Hustler. She was Dear Slut in Hustler. So I was asking her, and I was like, Tommy Lee and Pamela, they tried to say that like, oh, their movies got stolen and leaked. She goes, you know how much they signed off on to make money off of that? And I was like, those bitches.
Yeah.
Very
Legends.
smart.
Pioneers.
Yeah, exactly.
Pioneers.
Kim Kardashian built a whole career because of what they did.
Yeah, she
Exactly.
did.
Now she's a legend.
She's the queen
Yes.
of bicycle shorts.
I'm not even sure what that means, but
I don't know either.
I think we'll end it here.
It's like that went into a place I don't need to know.
People get it. They're like, yeah, she is always in bicycle shorts. Well, that's all I could think of is your Tour de France party.
Yeah, those were good times. I have one final question for each of you. We'll start with MJ first. What does Las Vegas mean to you?
Ooh, this is where I grew up. I moved here when I was 20. So this was like the land of like opportunity and excitement and party. I've met celebrities. I found my career on Craigslist being a radio DJ for like 15 years. Seriously. It's just like the opportunities and possibilities are endless. You can get up at midnight and just be like, I want to put on a ball gown and go down to the strip in a limo. You can do all the most ridiculous things. Like, it's just one of the most exciting cities in the world. And this is definitely home for me now. So yeah, that's Vegas for me, baby.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby.
I would say home. I've tried to leave Vegas a lot. I wanted to go to LA and just didn't pan out. And I grew up here. I was a teenager here. I went to high school here, and I fucking hated this city for the longest time. I'm not even gonna lie.
You grew up,
yeah. I was like, and you need to get out and spread your wings and live elsewhere. Like, I'm from LA originally, and I will always have my LA connections, but to me, Vegas is home. And it was once this city started building up and getting more culture, and like downtown started building up, and Tony Hsieh, RIP, came in and like started doing things that I was like, damn, I live in a fucking cool ass city. And I go to other places and realize that I can't get a drink after 2 a.m. and be like, what the fuck is this shit?
Everything's closed.
Yeah. And there's only one other city to me besides LA. I don't count LA because that's where I was born. That's where my family is, whatever. There's only one other city to me that's felt similarly home like this, and that's New Orleans, and that's because they have a lot of the same liquor laws. And it's just a lot of the same raunchiness that I'm used to. And I will say this, growing up here, I mean, maybe you can attest to this too, being born and raised here, it makes things feel less taboo when you're doing it. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm gambling again.
It's because it's normalized.
It's normalized, yeah. I would honestly say, like, I think growing up in this city, I've learned that gambling can be a problem, drinking can be a problem, all these things can be a problem, and how to just like maybe have my fun, but not full on go into the full blown addictions of it.
Don't slip into the Vegas darkness. We say we have a sex podcast in Vegas. People are like, cool. Anywhere else, they're like, oh my god,
sex?
You're like,
yeah, we're so desensitized to everything.
Yeah.
It's just normal.
It is. And I like that desensitization, like that I'm desensitized to it, because it makes it like, okay, cool, you can get a drink. Neato, you know.
What about you, though?
Yes.
You probably answered this question, but we didn't hear it.
I can't remember if anyone has actually, I think I was asked this once. I think Vegas it's a one-of-a-kind city. There's nothing else that replicates it. It's has convenience up the ass. There's a lot of utility out here. Culture is being built. It was built on like this devil wears Prada kind of mentality where you could come here and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And now it's really evolved to that. Like the people who do come in here with the everything only happens in Vegas mentality are like those big YOLOers who end up doing stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
But it's morphed into this like celebrity entertainment capital, and now it's moving into this experience capital of the world, and everybody wants to be out here. It's one of the fastest growing cities over the last few years. Shit, there's only 2,000 houses an inventory
left.
Yeah,
that's like how fast everyone's moving here.
If y'all could stop actually for a minute, I'm trying to buy a house and I would like to be able to get one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think it's a really, really powerful, especially what Brie and I have found out, like the way, and being in radio for so many years, how it facilitates this culture is really special. You know, like whatever you're doing, you're going to find your niche out here. You're going to start building a community. It's so, it's so cool like that.
And this city has a huge rabid community outside the city, the 44 million people who visit here. When I had Scott on Vital Vegas, he's like, there's no Vital Seattle.
No.
Like, it's only for Vegas. People have a profound love for the city.
Vital Vegas, Twitter?
Yes.
He's the news rumor guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that was very much shown after October 1. people thought Vegas, like Vegas, baby. And then they were like, oh, there's actually people that live there that actually give a shit about that city. But, one of the things that I love about Vegas is also one of my biggest frustrations, too. And we talked about this earlier, is how small and connected it is out here.
Big
2
city and
degrees of
small town.
separation. Yeah,
Seriously,
2 degrees.
everybody knows everybody out here. So if you don't do something fucked up, I promise you, 5 other people know about it.
Yep, it's a double-edged sword. It makes it easier to get interconnected and to make your way up, but it also, if you do fuck with the wrong people, you will be shunned.
Yeah.
Exactly, especially like in the business side of things in this city.
Oh, yeah.
Like you
Don't burn your bridges here.
do not burn your bridges. Nope.
Yeah, that's like the industry. We had a few bussers at Omnia steal some money, and they got caught,
Done.
and they got shunned from pretty much every club.
Every club,
Right.
yeah.
Every
Strip.
club, yeah.
I
Like
bet.
that word traveled really fast. They went to auditions, and they didn't even let them audition. They told them to leave.
I believe it.
So.
Yeah, we rally out here.
Yeah, we rally behind each other. We're all here to, make the best of our lives. And the number one answer to what does Las Vegas mean to you is always opportunity.
Absolutely.
Like 80% of the answers. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
80%. That's from the Vegas transplants, the people who move out here.
I love
That's
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone sees you could come be whoever you want.
It's true. I mean,
is true.
moving here is at 20, I can definitely say that. But we, this meant so much to us for you to come on our show
Yes.
and for us to get to come on here and just chat with you again and have our second dates.
So much fun.
So, call us back when the OnlyFans is pop in. See how it goes.
Where do I send everyone to follow you guys and learn more?
If you need any of our links, keepingitcasualpodcast.com. Like has all of our social media and stuff. But personally, you can find me at Breemixed, BREEMIXED. I know it's a little tricky, but that was my AOL screen name and I'm not changing it. Okay.
Yeah. And then, KIC Pod on Twitter, Keeping It Casual Podcast, Instagram and Facebook. And I'm at MJ Radio Diva. And we release new episodes every Wednesday, sex, dating, relationships. And we love to give our listeners a platform. We do giveaways every month. We give away vibrators. And,
Yes, we do.
we just ask for ratings and reviews and you can get free shit from us. So we have fun with that.
And we try really hard not to to find that balance between where we're not like super technical about sex, but we're not like
Super raunchy.
super raunchy. We want to find that middle ground for you guys.
That's why it's keeping it casual.
Yes. You know how we do.
The perfect name. Well, thank you. Like said, this second date definitely went much longer. We went about 30 minutes longer.
Ooh, that
So
flew
the threesome,
by.
yeah.
That did.
So
wow.
yeah, threesomes are fun, right?
They are.
Good.
They're a fun time.
Thank you so much for having
Thank
us.
you.
You're always so
Appreciate it.
charming and fun, and we just love it.
Thank you.
Rocking
yeah.
your show.
I'm excited to. We'll have a round 3 at some point.
Oh, yes.
Definitely. We got to go. Yeah, threesome for 3.
Fuck yeah.
We're going 3 for 3, y'all.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.